Brought to you from the state of Connecticut, capital city of Hartford, this is a Department of Developmental Services production. Today's presentation is How My Family Supported Me to Be an Independent Adult.
We fought hard and advocated for respectful language, to be signed. And it was signed by the governor in August 2011.
Hello, I'm Beth Ora Miller, Self-Determination Director, and I am so pleased to be talking with Jenna Lewis. Jenna is a Self-Advocate Coordinator for the Department of Developmental Services. She will be sharing her story of how her family and others supported her to become a self-directed adult. As you will hear, things were not always easy for her. You will hear about some of her mother's fears at the beginning, her determination in getting her the help and support she needed, and the steps she took along her path. She will forever be grateful for having a loving, supportive family who watched her grow, explore, and supports her living the life she chose. Welcome, Jenna.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you here today. I wanted to just chat with you today and find out what it's like in your life. Please just tell us about yourself.
Well, I was born on July 3rd, 1979 in Napa, California. And by the time I was a year old, I had already moved to Long Island, New Jersey, and finally Connecticut. And along the way, I had been to many doctors and hospitals and specialists. Others were trying to figure out if I was going to be able to walk or talk. And the main piece was my ear infections and my cleft palate. That really worried my mom. And we were told that I had limited potential and would probably never be full.
So they didn't think you were going to walk or talk, and you had the trouble with the cleft palate.
Yes.
And lots of ear infections.
Yes.
So lots of ear surgeries.
Yes. And I was told also that not to expect too much.
But I think your family was extremely supportive of you, correct?
Yes, they were always supportive of me. And my family saw me differently. They believed there was something the doctors were missing. And my mom was researching doctors and hospitals, trying to put together the puzzle pieces of what I needed to live independently, to have friends, and to contribute to my community. By the time I was a year old, I had already had 3 ear operations and surgeries on my cleft palate. And my mother was very worried that I still had trouble walking, and no one could understand me when I spoke.
Jenna, what was your education like up to this point? Can you tell us a little bit about what it was?
Yeah. Well, I started a preschool program in Cheshire, Connecticut for kids with special needs, and it didn't take them long to realize that I needed a lot more swinging and moving around than most people. And that I had to work with a therapist who told my mom to put a swing in the kitchen. And the next thing I knew, there was a swing in the kitchen. She would swing me around while she was working.
So she'd be cooking and you'd be swinging.
Yes. And we also had a barrel I would roll down the hill with.
A barrel?
A barrel.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And it had handles, and it was padded, so I wouldn't get hurt.
Great. So it helped that movement, that whole piece of
yes,
feeling like you were connected somehow with that movement.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And we finally found a major piece of the puzzle that we were trying to put together. And during that same time period, my mom had found another preschool program in Southbury, Connecticut. And it was important for me to learn skills along with children from my town.
Mm-hmm.
I continued going to elementary school in Cheshire until I was around maybe 8 years old. And so then I started going to elementary school in my town, which I've always wanted to do. And I loved trying to do new things other kids were doing. And my mother always encouraged me to just try. Sometimes my participation was short-lived.
Yeah.
I wasn't too good at spelling bees. My drumming skills weren't the best. And I tried everything I could to participate in everything I could. And then I finally got involved with a talent show.
Mm-hmm.
And me and 4 of my friends were doing a skit. And we loved it. It was a blast.
So you really felt connected with your community
yes.
as being part of that school.
That was a major part of it.
So what kind of activities did you do in your community? I mean, you said you did the talent show. That was part of school. What other activities were you involved in your community?
Well, I was a part of Brownies.
Mm-hmm.
And I took tap dance lessons
Oh.
and was in recitals. I had kids over for my birthday parties. And I was in a summer drama group for kids, which I loved because I love acting. So, yeah.
That's great.
I was a part of my community.
That's a really great way to be part of your community.
Yes.
So Jenna, I know your mom explored many doctors as you were growing up. Can you share some of your experiences with the doctors that you had?
Yes. When I was 10 years old, my mom was told about a doctor that I should be seen.
And that was in New Haven?
Yes.
You had a doctor in New Haven? Okay.
Yes, it was in New Haven.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor changed my health, my potential, and my dreams. He discovered that I was born without the ability to absorb certain nutrients, and I couldn't really dump toxins from my body very well. Over the years, he has found ways to treat my condition,
Mm-hmm.
and that changed the quality of my life.
Made a big difference to have the right health care.
Yes, yes. I became a healthier person, made better decisions for myself, and I chose the life I wanted to live.
Great. Jenna, you are a great self-advocate, but I know that didn't just happen overnight, not even close. So when do you think you started to really advocate for yourself and understand what advocating meant?
When I was 12 years old.
Really?
Yeah. When I was 12, I went to another school in West Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
And at that school, I had a teacher that was there that always encouraged me every day to be assertive. And at that school, all my teachers were behind me, always telling me to be assertive and advocate for yourself. So that was where I learned how to advocate for myself.
So you were very young when you started to advocate for yourself, but
Yes.
having that kind of support of people that said, you have to speak up for yourself, you need to be assertive.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. I had responsibilities at various vocational sites. I also had a chore chart at home where I earned privileges for the jobs I completed.
Oh, so you took responsibilities then when you were younger.
Yes, I did.
And you did your own chores?
Yes, I had my own chores.
So share with us what that was like to have your own chores and being a responsible person at that age.
Well, I had a point system, and what that was, I had various chores I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if, for example, if I made my bed, I would earn 1 point. If I dumped the dishwasher, I earned 2 points. It was all up to me. And my rewards would be a certain amount of time on the phone, watching TV, or the reward would be to buy a new CD that I wanted. And what I learned was if I do nothing, I would have nothing. Or if I had done everything that I was supposed to do, I would have all my favorite things.
So you really did earn what you liked.
Yes.
So you did your chores, you earned what you liked. And I bet now today most kids would be earning, maybe iTunes or
Right.
something like that, whereas
Yeah.
you were earning DVDs.
Yeah.
I know you also have had a lot of strong support from your family. Can you tell me about your grandparents? Because I know they're really a big part of your family.
Yes, they are. My grandparents had a huge piece of my life. When my mom was in graduate school, she would always send me and my brother to my grandparents' house on weekends. And they would take care of us, and in the summers, we would go there for the week so she could study. And my grandpa taught me everything I know about sports.
Yeah, and what kind of a sports fan are you, Jenna?
I'm a baseball fan.
Yeah, and do you have any specific team that you really root for?
I was brought up a New York Yankee fan.
She is a total Yankee fan.
And I was also brought up with watching college college football.
Yeah?
Yeah. My mom and my father went to University of Nebraska together, and they would always go to Nebraska Cornhusker games together. So I was brought up being a Nebraska Cornhusker fan.
I think you also really enjoyed going shopping with your grandma, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing that too. And she also had me join all her activities, and she really had a lot of good stories to share with not only me, but a lot more people in my family.
Well, she had a lot of community connections, and she would take you along with all the things that she was doing in her community.
Yes.
And you learned to get your shopping expertise from Grandma, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
By this time, I think you said your stepfather had become more of your dad now, doing things with you?
Yes, he was a major part of my life when I was 14. When he first stepped into my life, I didn't really know what to expect. So then he became the father figure that I needed to help me grow. And he has really helped me overcome a lot of challenges. And he it supported me 110% in my life. And I will forever be grateful for that.
That's great. So it sounds like you've had a lot of wonderful support from your family.
Yes.
In all aspects of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with that, you've also become a lot more independent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so being independent can really be scary for a lot of people. I know you had opportunities to be more independent. Mm-hmm. And do you want to share some examples of learning how you felt better about being more independent, how you learned to be more independent?
Well, when I was 15, my parents started having me travel out to Idaho.
Ooh, that's a long trip.
It is.
From Connecticut?
A very, very long trip. And I learned how to do it independently with the support of an airline companion. And
so you flew by yourself?
I flew by myself. Yeah, and my family always met me in Idaho and Salt Lake City. And I would go out there and visit my aunts, my uncles, and my cousins. So, yeah.
That's great. And you didn't get lost or anything?
No, I didn't get lost.
You have a brother, and he's a pretty important part of your life, too. How has he been supporting you through your journey?
Well, my brother Greg is 4.5 years older.
Ah,
than
so
I
you're
am.
the young'un.
Yeah, I'm the younger one. He was always a good sport and played with me when we were kids. He'd be the doctor, but he'd be the patient. Or I'd be the doctor and he'd be the patient, either or. And he also liked to dress me up to look scary or funny looking. And we have this bond now that we can always talk to each other about anything. And we have formed this kind of relationship. And I feel much closer to my brother than I was. Of course, I do miss the times when we were more younger and he would hide underneath the bed or in the closet to just jump out and scare me on purpose. So, yeah. And now that Greg is married, I have a sister-in-law.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Alice is not only a sister, but she's also my friend. And they have almost a 4-year-old nephew named Gus, who lights up my life every single day. And he is into everything. So, yeah.
So you're a great auntie, huh?
I'm a great auntie.
So Jenna, when your brother went to college and you heard all about what he was doing, were you also interested in furthering your education?
When my brother was in college, I decided I wanted to go to college too.
Makes sense.
Yeah. My parents were stunned and knew that they had some work to do in order for me to realize my dream. But they weren't behind me all the way, as was my brother, my grandparents, and my entire family. I have always been encouraged to live my dreams. If you don't try, you don't know what might happen.
That's very true. Jenna, when did the Department of Developmental Services become part of your life?
I was just planning on graduating from high school when I got involved with DDS. DDS has been a major part of my life and my circle of support. My case manager at the time was a very strong supporter of my dream. She discussed my vision with others at DDS, and we started brainstorming ways to make it happen. They all encouraged me to believe in myself and believe in my dream of going to college. And eventually, I had my dream come true. With the help from DDS and my family, we found the funding to make my dream happen. My family and I located a college on Long Island that has a vocational independence program on its campus. I was accepted and then spent the next 3 years realizing my dream of going to college.
So what did you learn when you were attending the vocational independent program?
I learned a lot of skills that I needed to learn in order to live independently, to have a job, to cook, basically what I know now. I now live in Westbrook, Connecticut with 3 other roommates, and I have gone beyond expectations of many people. I was encouraged to believe in myself, and I am lucky to have the support of my family.
So Jenna, what did you learn after attending the vocational independence program?
I learned skills that prepared me for the life I live now. I now live in Westbrook, Connecticut with 3 of my roommates, and I have gone beyond the expectations of many people because I was encouraged to believe in myself. And I am lucky to have the support of my family and friends as I continue to follow my dreams.
Jenna, what was one of the dreams after going to college? Did you have anything you wanted to do after that, since that was a huge dream and to fulfill?
Well, besides living independently, I wanted to be a self-advocate coordinator for the Department of Developmental Services. And I managed to achieve that dream as well. I've been working for the state for 7 years, and me and my coworkers work every day to make our voices be heard. And I also share my story throughout the state.
Great. Jenna, you have had a tremendous life, and you've been a wonderful advocate for yourself and for others. Do you think you could give us some advice for students and their families and what they could maybe think about as they're looking at their future?
Parents need to listen to their children. They have a voice that needs to be developed. Be supportive of your children's dreams and futures. Give them a chance to make their own decisions as early as possible. Give them opportunities to role play and feel comfortable with making a decision. Never give up. Set high expectations. If you don't let them to be successful, they won't work at it.
That's a really good point, Jenna. Setting those high expectations are really important because we don't want to just slough off, right? We want to make something of our lives.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Well, make sure they have positive role models in their life. Get connected with people that have the same interests to form relationships. Chore charts. Know the responsibility from the beginning. And never give up. Keep trying despite the difficulties and/or obstacles.
Those are fabulous pieces of advice for families and for students. Jenna, what have you learned about being an advocate for yourself?
With the right support and planning from my parents, grandparents, my brother and his family, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, schools, community, and DDS, I have been able to develop the strengths and skills that make me the person I am today. I am able to use my voice, my own life experiences in helping others with disabilities become their own self-advocates. By using my voice and having my circle of support listen to me, I have created the life I want.
That's wonderful, Jenna. Thank you, Jenna, for sharing your story. You are very inspiring. We know many students and their families are scared about what happens after they graduate from school. You have shown us that there is nothing to fear. Instead, you have shared that it is exciting to explore what you want in life, prepare for your future, advocate for what you want to do, and develop your circle of family and friends to walk with you through your life's journey. Thank you.
This has been a Department of Developmental Services production.